Every session, every braking zone, every apex, and every mistake. It's all led up to this. Moving up to HPD3 means I'll be one step closer to competition school. But before we get to the checkoff ride, there's a few changes I had to make on the car. So let's rewind and get the car ready for the track. So the last time I was out on track, I noticed a few things I need to sort out before heading back. First, the brakes. The pedal felt kind of mushy at the top and would get a little firmer if I pumped the pedal up. So I think there's some air stuck in the ABS from when I upgraded to the 6-piston calipers. So let's get the car in the bay and get started with the track prep. To bleed the brakes, I'm using Motool RBF 600, a brake fluid commonly used in motorsports for its high boiling point, making it ideal for track conditions. I filled the reservoir and connected the bleeder system to the car. I pressurized the system to about 1 bar and hooked up my OBD11 to manually activate the ABS pump, which helps purge any air that might be trapped in the system. According to Audi, you should start the bleeding system from the front driver's side, then move to the front passenger and follow the same order in the rear. Once everything was set up, I had Gavin activate the ABS pump while I opened the bleeder valve. I then repeated the same process for all 4 corners, and just like that, I was done. The second issue was a little bit more frustrating. My wheels. They had already been repaired twice, and on the drive back from NCM last time, literally right after filming the last video, I noticed a new crack forming along one of the old repairs. It's at this point I knew I couldn't continue to patch them up, so I needed a real solution, and that's where ECS tuning comes in. I went with a set of 19-inch Alzor style 628 wheels from ECS Tuning. These wheels come in a 19 by 8.5 with a 35mm offset. I'm currently running my old set of Michelin Pilot Sport 4 all seasons in a 255/35/19. This size wheel gives me the flexibility to run a more performance-focused tire like a Michelin Pilot Sport 4S or even a Cup 2. The thinner sidewall gives me better cornering stability and more responsive steering, and are even 2 pounds lighter than my old setup. Huge thanks to ECS Tuning for supporting the channel and keeping these projects alive. I couldn't do it without you guys. Alright guys, so we're on the road to Mid-Ohio, and this weekend is a big one. If everything goes well, I'm hoping to get signed off into HPD3. HPD3 is where things really start to open up. You are no longer restricted to passing only on the straights, so there's a big emphasis on situational awareness. It is important to be able to read traffic, make safe passes, and avoid making trains. The goal is to stay aware, keep the flow going, and not hold up anybody. At the same time, you start learning more advanced braking techniques. Things such as medium braking, brush braking, and threshold braking. Brush braking is a light, gentle pressure on the pedal used to settle the chassis. You're not trying to slow the car down much, you're just trying to transfer a little bit of weight on the front wheels so the car can rotate a little more predictably. Then you've got medium braking. It's kind of that in-between zone. It's not so much threshold braking, you're just trying to scrub some speed off without unsettling the car. And finally, you've got good old threshold braking. Threshold braking is when you apply as much brake pressure as possible without locking the front tires or triggering ABS. You use threshold braking when you need to slow down the car fast, usually at the end of a straight into a tight corner or something like a hairpin. I've also been practicing left foot braking on the street. It's not full threshold braking obviously, just working on my sensitivity and my modulation, making sure I'm not stabbing the pedal and unsettling the car. It's a weird feeling at first, but you eventually get used to it, and it's obviously going to help me gain more car control on track, especially on fast transitions and technical sections. So yeah, that's where I'm at. It's a lot of prep, a lot of learning. Now it's time to put it all together and see if I'm ready for HPD3. I'll see you guys in Mid-Ohio. guys, we've made it to Mid-Ohio. The weather for the weekend is going to be a little crappy, as you can tell. It's going to be between 45 and 65, somewhere in that range this week. Mid-Ohio is a very technical track that has a lot of elevation changes, a lot of blind corners. Has a mix of fast sweepers, S's, and hairpins, as well as long straights. We're going to unpack the car, set up our paddock, and then we're going to go watch the end of the last race of the day, and we'll go walk the track. It's important to walk the track when you're at a new track like this, so you can learn some initial reference points as far as braking and turning goes. It's also important to get familiar with the bumps and different parts of the track that you might not be able to see on video around the track. This is how you go to the track on a budget. No need for a hotel. Got a full-size queen mattress and an Audi S4. Barely. All right, guys. Going to sleep. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Morning, y'all. It is 7 o'clock. We got a driver's meeting at 8, but first we got to clear out the car, so let's get to doing that. Once we were done with the classroom session, it was time to go out on track for our first warm-up session. The first day is all about getting comfortable and learning the track. On Saturday, we'll be driving the club course, and on Sunday, we'll switch to the pro course. This is my first time at Mid-Ohio, so I'm using the early sessions to understand the track's flow, where the grip is, where the bumps are, and how the car wants to move through each corner. I'm not chasing lap times just yet. Right now, it's about finding rhythm, gradually increasing pace, and refining my technique. I'm still developing my trail and brush braking skills, which are key for settling the car into corners without overloading the front tires. Mid-Ohio has a few great spots to work on brush braking, including turns 1, 6, 9, and 11. For trail braking, turns 2, 4, and 12 are ideal since they follow long straights into tight corners. With that in mind, let's dive into the first session and see how it went. All right, guys, just got done with the first session. It's kind of cold out, so it felt a little slick. Hopefully as the track warms up, we'll be able to get some more grip, but I am still in all seasons, so that's to be expected. I'm gonna drop the pressure a little bit. I had it at like 38 and it came up to 40 when it's warm, so I'm gonna try to drop it to like 35, hope it comes up to 36 or 38. I might have to drop it down a little bit more for the next session, but we'll evaluate. We'll do this progressively. I'm also gonna try to grid in the back because I felt like I was holding people up. Like I said, I didn't have grip, so I couldn't really throw the car into the corners like I would like to. So I'm gonna try to just go to the back, get a little bit more comfortable. Hopefully there's a little bit more grip available when it gets warmer, and yeah, we'll reevaluate from there. So I'll see you guys then.
With the pressures down to 33 psi and the track warming up, I was hoping this session would help build my confidence heading into Sunday. And from the first few corners, I could feel everything starting to click.
Alright guys, last session went pretty well, but I did hear a little bit of a concerning noise. I think it's coming from the downpipe, so I'm going to jack the car up and check what it is. Find anything in the front, so let's check the rear. All right, well, looks to be coming from the rear exhaust hanger, so I'm gonna tighten it up and see if the noise goes away. Guys, it's day 2. Today we'll be driving the pro course, which means that there is no longer that chicane coming out of turn 1. Now it's just a straight going into Keyhole, so we're going to be carrying a lot more speed there. Got to learn our new line. Yesterday I walked the track before it was closed to kind of gauge where I'm going to pick some initial reference points, and we'll adjust from there. But yeah, got to torque the wheels, fuel up the car, and then get ready for my driver's meeting.
Once the session was over and I was back in the paddock, I noticed that my front pads were very low, which meant I would have to run my street pads for my checkoff ride. you want a good videographer, don't get a semi-jealous girlfriend that instead of filming you goes on your own Snapchat. Just word of advice. She will forget to film some important steps. So if you're upset about that, you can blame it on Caroline.
I'm sorry.
You really want to videos of you struggling to get everything on?
The boys and girls need to see that it happens to anybody, not just them. Click, 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 click.
What? Don't give me that stink eye.
I wasn't looking at you, I was just making sure you were still filming. She was. I trusted her. With my street pads installed, it was time for my checkoff ride, and it's safe to say that I was nervous to see how these pads would hold up.
Especially when you have a car with so much power, you're off balance. Even with all the overhead, and you get into it, or you're hauling ass into a turn, you're not balanced. All your inputs, especially steering, but with your feet as well. Just try to be as smooth as possible. And that doesn't mean slow. When you're ready to get on the brake, you get on the brake. Hard to tell exactly how comfortable you are pushing it because of the brakes. I'll talk to Derek about that and see what he thinks. Your awareness is definitely good. Who I'm assuming doesn't typically get past a whole lot. You were given point buys very early and decisively, and sometimes the fastest guys in HPD have a problem giving point buys because they never have to do it. Right. But you seem very comfortable with that. So that all seems pretty good. It's just the brake issue. So I got to talk to Derek and see how we weigh that into the decision. I've never had that situation come up before.
I can imagine.
So
I'm just happy I have brakes to get back home, honestly.
Yeah.
Alright guys, well, as you can see, my instructors needed to do some deliberating before giving me a decision on whether I'd move up to HPD 3, which means I didn't get the satisfaction of knowing whether I moved up or not at the track. It's been about a week and I've been waiting for an email from my instructor, and today I finally got that email, so I'm going to read it out to you guys and we'll both find out together if I've moved up or not. Hi Dominic. After conversations with your instructors, Joey and Robin, and our Group 3 leader, the consensus is to move you up to HPD 3 for your next event. I copied Robin on this email, He's set to get with him so we can officially welcome you and go over some stuff with you related to HPD3. Congratulations, we'll miss you in HPD2 and keep up the good work. Derek and Joe. Well, there you have it, guys. Seems like my hard work has finally paid off and I have been promoted to HPD3. I am now one step closer to competition school, which means that I'm also one step closer to needing a car with a roll cage and all the safety equipment. And I don't necessarily plan on using this car as my race car. So for the next episode, I will be picking up my next project, which will be a long-term project, but I plan on turning this car into my race car and using it for the track, as a BA is not necessarily the best track platform. It's just too heavyweight and it's just too muted for what you truly want as a driver. It doesn't give you all the feedback that you wish you could get from the car. So yeah, you guys will come along with me for the next episode where we will be picking up my new project.